We made it, people. We made it. I'm here in Fort Lauderdale. It's Friday evening. We've been on a journey. I woke up this morning, Emancipation Day in Jamaica. Went and got the Knutsford Express all the way to Montego Bay. Waited for my plane to fly to Miami. Had to then travel from Miami to Fort Lauderdale. And we've made it. All for the love of the maroon. You can like CCP, you can hate CCP, but you can never doubt that CCP will rally. 2025, just 2025, forget last year when I was in Trinidad and Antigua. In 2025, I've watched these guys in Ireland, Republic of Ireland. I've watched them at the Oval. I've watched them at Edgbaston. I've watched them at Trent Bridge. I've watched them at Lord's. I've watched them at Sophia Gardens. In fact, some of this is 2024. I've then flown to Northern Ireland and I've seen them in Brady. I've then flown to Jamaica and I've seen them at Sabina Park. And my final trip, unless something drastic changes and you randomly see me turn up in India, my final trip of 2025 watching these guys finds me in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. If any of the guys are watching this, Darren Sammy, Ravi Rampal, Rayon Griffiths, Floyd Reefer, Avanesh, anybody in the backroom staff and any other players, I'm just asking you for one thing. I beg you give me a W. Let me leave with something in 2025. Please let me leave with something. I've endured a lot of L's this year. I'm trying to leave with something. Obviously, 2 days ago, or yesterday, in fact, we lost the opening T20 to Pakistan. Let's not dwell on it. We could do the whole kind of rigmarole about why did we lose and should we have done this and should we have done that. I can't be bothered to do that. What's the point? Okay, what's done is done. We look forward to the weekend doubleheader. All I'm asking for, I'm not even asking for a series win. I'm just asking for one W. I'm just asking for one W. Okay? Now, what did we learn from the Pakistan game in terms of going ahead for the 2 weekend games? I think we have to, if we win the toss again, I think it probably makes more sense to bat on this track. I don't think the track gets easier to bat on. In fact, I think it might even become harder to bat on as you go into the night time. Remember, these games are going from 8 p.m. to midnight. I think on Thursday that they made an assessment or a judgment that dew was going to play a factor, and dew didn't play a factor at all. That doesn't mean to say they won't play a factor on Saturday and Sunday, but I think they got the judgment wrong, right? And actually the conditions as we went into the night seemed to aid the kind of diversity of the Pakistani lineup. There's no point in me saying pick this player or pick that player. I mean, yes, you could say that Ali Kathane should play. Yes, you could say that maybe Casey Carty should play. Yes, you could say that why did they have 7 bowlers and one of them, being Gudakesh Motie, didn't bowl at all? We could talk about the fact that the matchups didn't suit him. We could talk about Motie's form. But evidently, the makeup of the team on Thursday was wrong in some capacity, right? We don't need 7 bowlers in a West Indies side, as evidenced by the fact that Motie didn't even bowl. We could have done with the extra batter. We probably still would have lost, but we shouldn't be going into any game against an opposition needing 7 bowlers, or people saying, why didn't Motie get a bowl? Like that means we had 1 bowler too many, right? So before we look at what they could do, what shouldn't they do, they have to get the makeup and construction of the team right. By all means, get in the comments below. Who would you like to see start in the game on Saturday and Sunday? Do you know what? I've gone past doing individual critiques for now, certainly, because I'm just tired. I don't care who plays. I just want to see a W by any means necessary. Tamper the ball, Tifa man out, man cadder man. I actually don't care. We just need the W. I don't care who plays. I don't care what the justification is. Just get the W over the line. I'm tired out here. I've been everywhere in 2025. I'm tired now. Let me go back to London with a W, just one. I'm not asking for 2. Just give me 1 W. Get in the comments below and let me know, who do you think should play in the double headers? Well, no, actually, forget Sunday. Let's just talk about Saturday first. Who do you think should play? Obviously, Johnson Charles stank out the place on Thursday. That was a stinky innings. Yuck! It was a stinky innings. So you have to assume that he can't play on Saturday. Man's innings was so stinky, he couldn't even get out. That's the height of stink, when you can't even get out. Everyone who was watching on TV and probably in the ground and even in the backroom staff was probably thinking, I beg you, just get yourself out. And man was trying to cow lash and still couldn't nick it. Even when he did a bat up and catch, Pakistan dropped it and everyone was like, yuck. It was a yuck innings. So we have to assume that he's not playing. Does that mean Ali Cathanes comes in? There's a visa issue with Carl Mayer, so will he even turn up for this series or not? There's a whole myriad of questions. One thing I would say though, and this is a bit of a rambling episode because really this episode is just me saying I'm here, I'm in Fort Lauderdale, please I beg you a W. But one thing I will say is this, right? A couple of episodes ago I said that please write down your next 15 if it wasn't the current squad we had against Australia, right? And it's interesting, very few of you were able to come up with a squad. And I think that's because you probably looked at it and was like, Mash, there's a point here. There isn't a strong 15 after this 15. For this series against Pakistan, we are missing Brandon King, Evan Lewis, Rovman Powell, Shimron Hetmeyer, Nicholas Purin has retired, Dre Russ has retired, and Alzari's workload is being managed. That's 7 arguably first choice players, right? Arguably. We can get into semantics, but arguably that's 7 first choice players. And certainly 7, if you want to argue the semantics of if they're first choice, at least 6 of them are definitely first choice. We could argue the semantics on all 7, right? My argument is this: West Indies just aren't strong enough. We aren't strong enough to go into games against 4-member sides where 7 of our players are missing. Obviously, Puran's not coming back for now. Dre obviously is now retired, so 2 of those we can't even factor in. But I'm just telling you that when you're cussing, and the cussing's fine, and there's justification in the cussing, but when you're cussing, I do think you have to look at the context, right? We struggle even with all of our players available, much less now we've got 7 out. To me, the defeat in the context of 7 not being available wasn't that much of a surprise. However, the nature of it, up until Holder and Shamar Joseph did what they did at the back end, the nature of it was very disappointing. Once the wrist spinner came on, which West Indian fan didn't see that coming? Once the wrist spinner came on, I reckon most West Indian fans were like, oh no. And he just had us in a web. Even Saeem Ayub took 2, and in fact, do you know what Saeem Ayub is? He's a domestic championship spinner, but them man spin down the whole region every year, so maybe it's not a surprise. And then who was the next man? Was it Mohammed Nawaz? Even my man got in on the act as well. Pakistan spun us into a web. Yuck. Yuck. So name your team, people. Get in the comments below and name a team. And also, because it's a little quick episode, because I need to go hold the fresh and I actually need to go eat something and, you know, just you chill off for the rest of the night. But the other thing I want you to do is get in the comments below. Obviously, I'm going to be at the stadium tomorrow. Who would you like me to interview? I'm going to get an interview. The game doesn't finish till midnight, so I don't even know if I can get one. Maybe I'll get it before the game starts. But who would you like me to interview, people? Please get in the comments below and let me know. Mash, get an interview with XYZ live at the ground. Obviously, I'll do my own stuff, but I haven't travelled all this way not to get an interview or get some content for the Caribbean Cricket Podcast and the audience base. So put in the comments below who would you like me to interview. Put in the comments below who you think should play in the next match. Cuss if you want to cuss in the comments below as well. But ultimately, cuss to a point, people, because we're now at a stage where we've seen, what is it now? Since the World Cup ended in June 2024, we've seen 5 T20 wins in our last 20... I want to say it's 23 games. 5 T20 wins in 23 games since the World Cup ended. Yuck! We just need a W by any means necessary. I'm in Fort Lauderdale, people. I'm Machel St. Patrick Hewitt, one half of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. I'm not recording this in darkness. I'm in live and in living colour. Those who are going to be at the game tomorrow, see you there. I'm looking out at the retail park over there. There's a shop called, actually, let me not even say what the shop's called, because next thing I know, a stalker's going to come up here and try chat to me. Do you know what I mean? So I can see a nice little Mexican spot over the way there. So I might go over there and get involved in a little Mexican ting. You know what I mean? I'll be Machel St. Patrick Coote, one half the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Please get a W.